Hey everybody, this is Chris with orbtraders.com going over the September 4th Thursday trade plan. To start out, we have a couple of red high severity impacted events tomorrow morning before the market opens, starting with ADP non-farm employment change at 6:15. This is Mountain Standard Time. If you're on East Coast, that would be 8:15. And then you have unemployment claims an hour before the open. And then 30 minutes into the open, we have ISM Services PMI reporting. So just something to keep in mind. 30 minutes into the open, you could see some volatility. And then an hour and 15 before the market opens, you could also see some volatility if you are trying to trade pre-market and do the data print straddle method to pass an eval one day. I am not actually going to try the data print straddle tomorrow. I'm waiting until next week when we have PPI and CPI. Those methods are something I think may make it a little bit easier to run that strategy. Just my own opinion, but if you are going to run it tomorrow, just note that you have an opportunity on the 6:30 a.m. candle, potentially even at the 6:15 a.m. candle. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. I've got the levels already updated for tomorrow. We'll start out with the ES. So the ES, a bit of chop, drop. We had a initial orb up. Actually, let's just pull this up to be 100% clear on what that orb up means. For the 9-2 day, if we look at the 15 minutes of action, here's our first 15-minute candle. Now we did have a breaker below, 15-minute breaker below, and then we pulled up back up. So orb short, and then orb long, and then followed by an orb short, and then followed by an orb long. So what is helpful is just plotting this opening range and getting a foundation set on price action, so you know from the open where has price really traveled to. Just helps set the day and aligns to the strategy that I run. If that is of interest to you, I highly encourage it. We do have a couple 15-minute fair value gaps here at the end of the day, and then another one up here. I just threw in the 30-minute fair value gap just to make it a little bit easier to see. So if you look back at the 30-minute candles, you can see at the end of the market we had the buyers step in and leave that unfinished business. So I will be adjusting one of the levels overnight open in the morning, but I've already got the prior day high set at 64.64 and a quarter, the prior day low set at 64.26 and a quarter. Last week's low during the RTH session was at 64.44 half, and then last week's low during the overnight session was at 64.30 and three quarters. Still have the Labor Day gap that has not been filled yet above, and our current week high set during Sunday's open overnight at 64.91. So let's make sure this is accurate here. It's 64.91 half, and the current week low below us at 63.71 and 75 cents. In addition, we are holding this higher time frame fib support zone. If we go back and look at this draw from 62.39 half on the 1st of August to the draw up here at 65.08, that is the high of August. You could technically, if you wanted to, extend this, but because we haven't hit those profit targets, I am just going to leave that where it's at. So the 50% range, or the zone, the fib zone has been holding, tagging the 50% level multiple times. Yesterday, we tagged and went above. Today, we have stayed above along with overnight. And so curious to see if these long targets are going to hit in the month of September. If we can continue to stay bullish and have a little bit of a change of structure since the 20th of August, where we've been selling off and now we're kind of grinding back up. So I will share these levels for the ES. One thing to note is there is a bit of a 30-minute fair value gap that hasn't been completely retraced. A little bit of it has been overnight on the 31st, going into the 1st of September, but overall that zone is still above us. So just keeping that in mind. Switching over to the NQ, we've got our level set as well. So the prior day high at 525 and a quarter, prior day low at 318s and a quarter. Then you have last week's low at 371 half. That's during the overnight session. And then you have the last week's low during the RTH session at 395. I think we should actually edit that because candles do not close at 43 cents. So let's just update this at 397 half. And then we'll adjust overnight open when that comes. Our current week high set overnight on Sunday is above us at 23,552 half. And our current week low set during the RTH session, let's double check this, $23,025.25. So we've got the primary key level set. Last week's high is still above us if we can break through the current week highs. There is last week high as well for overnight session. Let me double check this. I think that level actually needs to be updated. That is not last week's high overnight. That would have been set right here. I'm actually just going to remove that because they're so close. We'll just keep the RTH last week high up. And I think that's good enough for myself. One thing to note, we are still staying above this key level that we talked about in the prior trade plans. 23,000 essentially, we'll just call it 23,000 flat. We're holding that. See if we can stay above that and continue to grind higher, or if we break structure now that we've kind of used that as support. Let's see if we break that structure and come back down. There's some fair value gaps below us. Go ahead and extend this over. And we'll run the same strategy as always. Plot the first 15 minutes range, take the trade based off of market internals if they're lining up. However, tomorrow I will not be streaming. It's my day where I actually go and work in the office, so I will be off the stream. I may try to get a scalp pre-market. Otherwise, I'll be relatively quiet in the Discord tomorrow. And then back on Friday, resuming normal trading for myself. One of the draws, if you are looking for any potential fib draws, I would consider the last week high up at 23,803s down to the current week RTH low. If you notice, we are still inside the 61.50 and 38 fib zone. This is a fib zone, this red box here, that if it holds, your short targets are below us at 22,839s, 22,541s, and 22 flat essentially. So something to keep in mind of. We already broke the August low to high fib draw that was supposed to be holding. I guess I shouldn't say supposed to be, but it held on the ES. It has not held up on the NQ. So I have removed that draw officially. And yep, that's pretty much all I've got in terms of levels. I'll go ahead and share the chart, and you can go ahead and add that into your Thinkorswim platform and adjust the levels however you feel like you need to. But it's going to wrap it up again for the September 4th Thursday trade plan. If you are new to the YouTube channel and you want to join the Discord, you can go to orbtraders.com, get access to the Discord through our link, which is at wap.com. There's a link on the Orb Traders website that directs you into WAP, and that just feeds you into the Discord. Totally free, nothing for sale. Even after you get in, full access to the live stream, to the data levels, to these charts. And we did add a checklist today for our trader checklist here. I'll just pull this up on the screen. Essentially, this is just going to help kind of frame your day, what you should do before the market, what qualifies a breakout, some of your minimum entry rules before you actually go ahead and pull the trigger, things that can disqualify your trade, and then how to manage that trade with a stop loss, along with what take profits you could use. And as always, your discipline and your process should be the first thing that you focus on more than your P&L. Are you doing the same thing day in and out? Are you waking up in time to get your computer prepped, to get your levels set up? Any outside life obligations? Are you taking care of all that stuff before you get down to the desk so you can just simply focus on the trade? Now, I know not everybody can do that. Some of you are also working like myself, and maybe you're trading on your phone or iPad or laptop, and you're on your feet. So I encourage you to work on your consistency of getting up early, setting the tone for your day, coming to the market prepared, and hopefully I can help. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out in the community chat in our Discord. That's going to wrap it up for me. Hope you guys have a great night. Take care.